Hello guys, it's been a while, but I have an excuse, a perfectly fine, not questionable, understandable excuse, okay? Anyways, this video will be about some of Brawler's most important kill setups and damage sources, tech chasing. I've gone over the most important options and methods already in other videos, though this time I really wanted to get into it for the maximum reward. And boy is Brawler broken when it comes to tech chase kill confirms. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Just know that if you practice all the methods in this video and recognize when they are applicable, you might just be the reason the local TO and Rob main bans Mii's from his tournaments again. There are two parts to tech chasing as Brawler: grounded tags and platform tags. We'll take a look at grounded tags first. The most important moves to set up grounded tag situations are back air, strong neutral air and forward tilted mid percents, as well as weak nair at high percents. As a rule of thumb, a landing nair gives you the most time to act and chase after them, a back air a little less so, a rising nair even less, and forward tilt the least. I say rule of thumb though, because it always depends on percents, DI, fall speed, tech animation, etc. how well you can cover something. But in principle, almost all of the methods I'll explain can work on a character. You'll just have to react to how much you can actually do. So let's get into it. We're gonna start with the options that offer the highest coverage but the least reward. For Brawler, this would be to simply run after your opponent and react with a dash attack in whatever direction they roll. If you take the time to train this for a bit, you can get fairly consistent at covering every single option. So miss tag, tag in place, tag away and tag in. The reward is obviously just a dash attack, so we can do better. By sacrificing the tag in place coverage, the best option is run up jab and then react to what happened. The single jab covers missed tags by locking the opponent, making it possible to get a forward smash punish for a potential kill. Tag in and tag away can still be covered by a quick dash attack and, depending on character, even a dash grab. Just to clarify what I mean depending on character, some tag rolls take a long time and don't go very far, while others are pretty quick and cover a lot of distance. Dash attack will generally be easier to hit, but dash grabs offer more reward, so you have to decide for each matchup what your plan is and what you expect them to do. Unfortunately, the jab puts you in too much lag to punish attack in place. It is theoretically possible to just continue with the rapid jab, but my reaction time isn't good enough for that, so for me this option is not covered. By the way, as a quick side note, the most optimal jab block punish is to do a single jab 1, dash for a bit, do a jab 2, and then do a down angled forward smash. In a lot of matchups though, the second jab 1 might miss the opponent lying on the ground, which is why I only recommend this in matchups against thick characters. Otherwise, a simple jab 1-2 into forward smash works just as well. The next method only works if you have a lot of time before the opponent hits the ground, so usually after a landing neutral air. What you do then is perform a full hop fast fall neutral air, which by itself covers tag in place and missed tag. In both these cases, most characters get hit by nair into forward smash on reaction. Tag in and tag away though are only covered by dash attack or dash grab, and again, depending on character, they might be able to act before you can chase them. Finally, we come to pretty much hard reads. The simplest one would be to just run up and forward smash, which covers tag in place and miss tag, but completely disregards tag away and tag in. If you're confident in a read, you can go for this, otherwise I really recommend other options. If you do want to go for a read though, but without getting punished for whiffing a smash, you can also go for a landing up air read. Run up to your opponent, then turn around, keep running, and short up air wherever you think they will end up. Depending on your moveset, stage and positioning, this might just as well lead to a kill through up air trains, up air F smash, or even more tech chases. If you whiff the up air, you won't get anything, but you also won't get punished. Next up are grounded tags at high percents, although there's really just one good method, and that's the Gimmer tag chase. To do this, after a weak neutral air, you simply run straight at your opponent and keep running no matter what happens, and then either down smash, FMP or heli kick. If they tag away, you'll be right behind them and hit your move 100% of the time. If they tag in place or miss the tag, you will push them with you, making it possible to use the exact same down smash or heli kick timing for these two options. The only thing not covered is tag in. which makes this situation basically a 50-50 kill confirm. If you read a tech in, you can use whatever you want to punish them. Okay, this covers pretty much everything about ground attacks, but possibly even more important are platform attacks. Setups here include down tilt, up tilt, suplex and down throw. And once again, we have to decide whether we want to go for damage or for a potential kill. Let's look at those one at a time and start with the highest success chance again. The easiest option for platform tech chasers is suplex. For that, simply wait underneath or next to the platform, wait until you see a reaction and jump suplex. I'll be honest here, I haven't found out a definitive best way to cover everything. Depending on how much time you have, suplex might already be too slow to cover tech away or tech in place. For example, after hitting a suplex to put them on the platform in the first place. In that case, you can cover every option after a missed tech on reaction, as long as suplex works. After an up tilt or down tilt though, you don't really have a choice of where to position, so you have to see how well you can react to their options. I personally found it easy to cover every tech option on reaction after an up tilt, except for missed tech. Try for yourself if you're comfortable with this punish. Alternatively, you can use up air on reaction against pretty much everything. What do you do out of that up air of course depends on the character and percent, but death combos are definitely possible. Just don't forget that a lot of times you don't actually have to wait for the tech and can straight up combo out of down tilt or up tilt. Next up, at high percents, we have up smash. Up smash on reaction is possible, as I find it easiest to just stand at the edge of the platform and run up to where they end up. In the worst case, an up smash slightly angled under the platform will always be able to cover get up attack and one roll option at the same time. And finally, the special reward of all platform tech chases, down throw. There are so many death setups for down throw kills. After a down tilt, after an up tilt, after a down throw, after a suplex, it's honestly broken. Same goes for heli kick on stages like Northern Cave of course. But this is also the most difficult tech chase, so what's the best way to do it? On top platforms, the method that works best for me is to jump up as quickly as possible and waveland on the side as far away as possible from my opponent. Then go for a dash grab on reaction, a pivot grab if they roll in, and a delayed dash grab if they get up attack. Initial tech in and tech away can also be caught by this, but are harder to execute, while tech in place unfortunately can't be caught in any way. If you have a hard read on that though, I recommend going for a delayed rising up air combo, which often also leads to death. On lower platforms it's a bit more tricky. Here you pretty much have to read whether they are going to tech or not, as it's impossible to cover both. If you assume they do, simply jump up with a full op and react to tech in or tech away. Tech in place is unfortunately always too fast, but that doesn't mean you can't still try to get the grab. If they don't miss the tech though, you can use the same wave dash to the corner trick as for the high platform, and dash grab or pivot grab accordingly. And with that, I covered pretty much everything I knew about tech chasing as Mii Brawler. Perfecting even one method takes a lot of practice, so I really recommend getting the training room mod if you can. If you know of any other strategies or practice routines, please let me know in the comments, and maybe leave a like so the YouTube algorithm doesn't completely abandon me. Until the next video.